Hello students, I am Dr. Harinder Singh Banyal, Associate Professor in Department of Biosciences, Himachal Pradesh University, Shimla. Today I am going to tell you about pisciculture, which is popularly known as fish farming. Pisciculture is mainly focused on production of fish in captive conditions. Since we are dealing with fish, so we should know how to define fish. Fish can be defined as a cold-blooded aquatic vertebrate which propels and balances itself with the help of fins, which are supported by fin rays, and it respires with the help of gills. The present topic is focused to address following objectives: to impart knowledge of pisciculture and aquaculture, to learn different methods of fish culture, to study different issues pertaining to fish culture. Why are our fish stocks declining? Overfishing, bigger fishing vessels, better technology to find fish, better nets, higher demand, lag time in population drop, they all are accounting for decline of our fish stocks in the natural conditions. Pisciculture can play a vital role in sustenance of our fish stocks in natural environment. Pisciculture is the culturing of fish in tanks or enclosures to obtain fish products as a food source. The technique dates back to many centuries. The types of fish produced in pisciculture include cod, carp, salmon, catfish, and tilapia. So, in a way, pisciculture produces commercially valuable fish products. Pisciculture is the fastest growing area of animal food production in the world. The demand for fish and fish proteins increased rapidly due to increase in human population. Hence, wild fisheries are at a state of overfishing. At present, more than 50% of fish consumed globally are raised through pisciculture only. The fish ponds or aqua farms are mesh cages submerged in natural or artificially constructed water bodies. Furthermore, it is possible to conduct pisciculture in both fresh water and salt water, depending upon the type of fish species which we are using in fish culture. What is aquaculture? Aquaculture is a broader kind of term. Aquaculture is the process by which commercially valuable flora and fauna are bred, reared, and harvested in salt water and fresh water. It involves the farming of fish, crustaceans, mollusks, and aquatic plants. Aquaculture is a controlled process, hence, the cultivation of aquatic products takes place under a predefined set of regulations. Moreover, it is carried out in both freshwater and saltwater. Therefore, aquaculture produces flora and fauna present in both marine and freshwater habitats. What are the similarities between aquaculture and pisciculture? Both aquaculture and pisciculture are two forms of culturing fish. They can use both salt water and fresh water. Moreover, both produce commercially valuable fish products. Also, both cultures reduce the rate of overfishing in wild fisheries. So this is very important statement. By pisciculture and aquaculture, we can reduce stress of overfishing in our wild. fisheries. The key difference between aquaculture and pisciculture is that aquaculture is the process of breeding, rearing, and harvesting aquatic flora and fauna with commercial value in salt water or fresh water, while pisciculture is the culturing of fish to obtain fish and fish products as food. So, pisciculture is mainly focused on production of fish, whereas aquaculture is focused on production of useful or commercially important biota. The primary requisite of fish culture is the availability of land or fish pond and quality fish seeds. Although production of seeds may be satisfactory, but rearing of those tender baby fishes in well-managed nurseries, rearing and stocking ponds must be thoroughly known. The above types of fish ponds are mostly found in government-managed fish farms as well as in progressive farmers, whereas the main objective is for fish shade production or table fish production through farms or projects. Generally, in scientific fish farming, number of various sizes of ponds are required for rearing of various stages of fishes, namely nursery pond. Rearing of spawn to fry stage for about 15 days is done in nursery pond. In the nursery pond, approximate size of fish is from 4 to 15 mm. Then we go for rearing pond. Rearing of fry to fingerling stage is done in the rearing pond, and this process is completed within 2 to 3 months. Here size of fish reaches up to 40 mm. From 16 the size reaches up to 40 mm. Then there is third category of fish ponds, which is known as stocking pond. Rearing of fingerlings to marketable sizes or adult fish is done in stocking pond. Here size of fish reaches from 41 to 150 mm. Of all the rearing of fishes in different types of ponds, nursery pond management is considered as prime importance because when management of tender fishes is done uh, in a water bay in a nursery pond, then we can have fries or fingerling stage of fish in a batter bay, and accordingly we'll have nice type of adult fishes, nice quality of adult fishes in stocking ponds. Now we will discuss different types of fish culture. First of all, we will take up monoculture. Monoculture is mainly focused on production of single species of fish. This type of culture is mainly focused to address single species based needs of food, scientific experiments, and sports, etc. Single species of fishes are cultured in a fish farm or pond. At times, single species culture is promoted because of their high demand in markets. Thus, monoculture refers to the culture and breeding of a single fish species in a farm. Breeding performance of a single species can be easily observed and recorded in a monoculture system. Additionally, it does not involve any competition for food and space among fishes. The culture of trout, tilapia, catfish, and carps are typical example of monoculture. Monoculture in intensive system is commonly practiced for high value, marketable fish species. It is the only method of culture used in recirculating system, running water system, and in cages wherever the supply of natural food is limited. Monoculture of fishes has got three types. First one is freshwater culture, second one is marine water culture, and third one is brackish water culture. Advantages of monoculture. It is easy to feed fishes in monoculture, permits great control over size, age, and sex, easy to monitor. Selective harvest of marketable fish can be employed, suitable for farmers having limited land resources. Disadvantages of monoculture. First one is natural productivity of pond is not fully utilized. Available space or ecological niches in water column are not fully utilized. In case of disease outbreaks, greater chances of yield loss are there. Cannibalism may also be possible among fish. More risk of regression in water quality like dissolved oxygen depletion can also take place while we go for monoculture. Due to the dependence of fish species on natural food, as is common in carp fry, fish growth is affected in case of shortage of natural food. Cultivable fish species in India. Indigenous species Katla katla, Labio rohita, Labio kalbasu, Sirinus mrigala, and Sirinus sirosa are some of the popular indigenous fish species in India, which are used in fish culture. We have got exotic carps also. Silver carp, common carp, and grass carp are popularly uh, utilized in fish culture. Characteristics of cultivable fish species. They must possess fast growth rate. They should be able to feed on cheap artificial feed. Hardy fishes should be preferred. They must have high tolerance against adverse physicochemical water parameters. They should be disease resistant. The fishes should be of good nutritional value, easy to harvest, and they should be prolific breeder. Katla katla, Labio rohita, and Sirinus mrigla. They are popularly used in fish culture in India because they fulfill most of these characteristic features which we have just discussed in this slide. Now we will discuss polyculture, which is also known as composite fish culture. Polyculture is the practice of culturing more than one species of aquatic organism in the same pond. The motivating principle is that fish production in ponds may be maximized by raising a combination of species having different food habits. So this statement can be explained with the help of this diagram. In this diagram, it is quite evident that different type of fish species they have got different feeding habits. Some are surface feeder, some are column feeder, some are bottom feeder. In a way, competition is less, and this water body is fully utilized by different species of fishes. The mixture of fish gives better utilization of available natural food produced in a pond. Polyculture began in China more than 1000 years ago. The practice has spread throughout Southeast Asia and into other parts of the world. Ponds have been enriched through chemical fertilization, manuring or feeding practices, contain abundant natural fish food organisms living at different depths and location in the water column. Most fish feed predominantly on selected groups of these organisms. Polyculture should combine fish having different feeding habits in proportions that efficiently utilize these natural foods. As a result, high yields are obtained. Efficient polyculture system in tropical climates may produce up to 8,000 kg of fish per hectare per year. Fish is used in polyculture. Combination of three Chinese carps known as big head, silver and grass carp along with common carp are most commonly used in polyculture. In Indian scenario, Indian major carps such as rohu, mrigal, katla, they are preferred along with these Chinese carps. Other species may also be used. While fish may be grouped into broad categories based on their feeding habits, some overlap does occur. Descriptions of the feeding habit categories and example of fish from each category are as follows. Plankton feeders. Plankton is usually the most plentiful food in a pond, so it is essential to include a plankton feeding fish in a polyculture system. This group of fish feeds on the tiny free floating plants known as phytoplankton and animals known as zooplankton, which multiply abundantly in fertilized ponds. Two fish typical of this group are the silver carp and the big head carp, herbivores. This group of fish feeds on aquatic vegetation. The grass carp is most noted for this behavior and is stocked in ponds for weed control. Then we have got bottom feeders. Fish in this group feed primarily at the pond bottom. They consume a variety of decaying organic matter, aquatic organisms such as clams, insects, worms, snails, and bacteria living in or on the sediments. The common carp is well noted for this behavior. Piscivorous fish. These predatory fish feed on other fish and must consume about 5 to 7 gram of prey to grow 1 gram. They are frequently stocked in pond to control unwanted reproduction, particularly in tilapia and other fish that enter the pond with a water supply and compete for food with the stocked fish. Commonly used predator fish include the sea bass, catfishes. We have got various types of catfishes, snakeheads, cichlids, and largemouth bass, etc. Adding predator fish to a polyculture system increases the average weight of prey species. It is most efficient to use a predator fish that consumes small prey. This prevents the prey from growing large enough to compete for food with large fish of its species. Use of predator fish in polyculture systems is experimental in most areas of the world. In small ponds, it is almost impossible to stock the exact number of predator fish to achieve the same predator prey balance occurring in nature. In small scale aquaculture, predator fish are usually stocked at rates of 5 to 20 fish per 100 square meter of pond surface area to control reproduction of the prey species completely. Typically, the stocking rate is about 19 fish per 100 square meter for Katla, 38 fish per 100 square meter, and 6 fish per 100 square meter for Mrigal. Issues in polyculture. Polyculture is an efficient way to maximize benefit from available natural food in a pond, but pond management becomes more difficult when stocking fish species having specialized feeding habits in the same pond because proper fertilization and feeding practices must be followed. If inadequate fingerling supply severely limits the choice of species available for polyculture, at least one species should have general rather than specialized feeding behavior. This will allow more of the available natural food to be utilized. These are some of the books which students can consult in order to enhance their knowledge pertaining to pisciculture or fish farming. Thank you.